Is now okay? Now okay? Sounds now okay, right? Yeah. So there is a connection from the other device, audio device. So guys, what I was telling was, I hope the exam went well, not did well. Hope you will get the best result out there. Having said that, guys, next focus should be audit and assurance. As I told you, I try to finish off by December, try to finish off by March. Maximum those two sessions guys, and I'm very clear. You need definitely pass that subject, and you will have to definitely go for a prize. That's my purpose of moving you guys and ensuring things are okay. Before that case, let's confirm on the sounds. Sounds okay? Is there a clear tone? Is it crisp and sharp? Or is there any form of distractions coming? No, clear, is it? Because next week there is physical class. Please come to physical class, okay? Let me check on this. Now, it's not clear or students? Students. It's not clear. Huh? Guys, can you leave the meeting and join again? Don't mind. Just leave the meeting and join again. Guys, then should be fine. Just check on that. I'll wait for 2 minutes. Leave the meeting and join again. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Still the same. After joining again, sounds okay or same?
As I change the device, how about the sounds now? Sounds okay with this? Yeah? Okay. You sure? I can't be pinning it. Let's see. I'll check through this. Is it totally fine, right? I don't have to completely fine? Everyone? Completely fine, right? The sounds? Yeah. Okay, Tarindu. I'll stick with this one. Yeah. So what I was telling was, guys, see, first and foremost, I was talking about your exams. Let me not repeat it. We are done. Let's hope for the best. That is one. Right now, guys, it's the time to focus on the audit and assurance because we need to be very cautious on fulfilling the objective, guys. Each and every week, we doing questions, we covering the content. Doesn't matter if we don't achieve that end purpose. What is end purpose for me? I'm very clear with the objective. Each and every batch I'm doing, each and every session, guys, I have a focus area. What is the focus area? I need a prize. That is point number one. And I also need everyone to pass. Okay, so that's that collective output which we need to bring out. So focused on that, guys. I want to know the students will be sitting for exams in December. Students will be sitting for exams in March because I need to plan out the one-to-one as well, guys, based on that and other set of work I will be giving you guys because in December certain students might have plans for other subjects. So when you have plans for other subjects, guys, it is unfair if I stress on the audit and assurance subject. I do understand you need to focus on other subjects. You might have maybe let's say other university qualification exams going on. I respect your schedule because these higher education, not school qualification anymore. But just give me that idea so that I can be clear that with the students who will be sitting for exams in December so that I can give enough and more pressure to you guys. I can push for whatever is required based on the end output. And students will be sitting for exams in March and students who have no plans of the exams I want that as well. Which session to sit? Still, you're not clear and you're a little bit confused with the flow you're going, with the schedule you're having to whatnot. No issues. Fill that up as well. I will drop the message, guys. I will drop the message on our WhatsApp group. I just want to know what you need to do is, guys, we need to go. You need to have patience. Huh? Just copy paste the last message that is sent. For example, I will drop the message right now. Okay. Let's say Teshani replies for the message, says December or March. She might drop the message. You need to copy and paste the last message. So you need to copy paste Teshani's message, not my message, so that the list gets updated. Let's say second person, Akmal comes in. Akmal comes in and says, okay, I need to do the exams in December. So Akmal will have to copy paste Teshani's message, write his name, type his name. Then the next person, Arishad, will have to copy paste Akmal's message. Can we quickly finish that off? Can I get that list completely? Yes. Only admins can send the message. Who has made that? How do I change that settings system? Group settings, send messages, all participants. Yes, done. Everyone can send a message now. All participants can send a message. So one by one, you can fill up that list. You can fill up that list one by one. Have patience. Ensure it is done in the right manner. And but a point, guys, if you are doing in December, if you are doing in December, we can completely push on to it because do remember in January there is another batch coming in. I need to give priority to that as well. It's better if you can finish it by December. That's the advice recommendation. or maximum marks. Okay, that is point number one. And let's get on to the content, guys. Let's get on to the content. Before getting on to the content, guys, I will be having the feedback session for section A and section B, so that you are clear in terms of the writing, in terms of the pattern you need to develop to craft your answer in a manner which is expected by the examiner. So that feedback session, you will be very clear in terms of your syllabus, which accounts for 40 to 45 marks of your exam. So let's have that. I will put up the schedule as well. You need to decide on the time slot. You need to pick the time slot. First come, first serve basis, time slot will be allocated. That is point number two. Now, guys, let's get on to the content. Let's get on to the content. Let's get on to the content. In the content, guys, last one on page number 17. Page number 17. Page number 17. Audit documentation. Meanwhile, guys, you all can fill up that message. Huh? Audit documentation, which is the last topic under section B, and we'll be moving on to section C. And guys, sorry about it. I sent the tutorial yesterday. I totally forgot about it. The fact that I didn't send you guys. It was a 1 week break as well, right? So just in case if you were able to take printouts, great. If you're unable to just manage it through the desktop, you can come and collect it from Achievers. Next week we are starting physical classes. Better, guys, if you can come for physical classes, huh? Because you know, right? We can interact and we can conduct the classes. Don't worry, like F1, the knowledge level subject, I'm not going to damage your image. It will be serious work going on, but there will be maximum amount of interaction coming in, guys, and we can ensure the session is effective. Okay, so students, better if you can attend the classes. Okay, that is something I wanted to communicate. Let's get on to the last one, which is audit documentation. Fine. Then what is documentation? First one. What is documentation? Whatever is spoken, whatever is communicated needs to have a track of report, needs to have some kind of a traction. For example, you might have a conversation with your friend. When you have that conversation with your friend, guys, you might come across a scenario, you might come across a situation where you can't remember everything what you spoke, correct? Certain people will remember, but do you remember step by step? No. Versus case, if you can make a note of it, no one will do this. I'm just telling example. If you can make a note of this and you can have a kind of document being maintained in a file, okay, on this day, these are the conversations. On the next day, these are the conversations. The other day, these are the conversations. This is case the next level of gossiping in a professional manner where you keep traction as well. Each and every day, these are the gossips, these are the rumors, and these are the subject matters we conversed, we spoke, and we communicated. So what is that beauty is, guys, you know, okay, on this day, this is the subject matter we spoke, this is the kind of conversation, and who told what and at what time. That is example of documentation. So in terms of that simple example, there is documentation plays a crucial role. Why? You very well know who made what statement. What are the subject matters we had discussed? That is just normal random conversation day to day which is happening. Not going to happen, but then I relate it to our day-to-day scenario. But in terms of, guys, the professional life, see, you guys are getting into the corporate world. You guys are getting into interaction with people, and you guys are going to get into that work life. You guys are going to get into that phase of dealing with many people. You might think, okay, it works based on a trust factor. True, agreed, guys, it works based on a trust factor. It's a fact that it should occur on a natural basis when you are conversing with another person for professional dealings with clients. But then, guys, you need to ensure, you need to remember this documentation plays a crucial role. If this documentation is not there, you will have to face the consequences. Let me take few different examples. One example is, let's say you start working in an organization. You start working in an organization without any form of, let's say, proof. Your boss says, I am going to give you freaking 200,000 salary. I will give you 10% out of the profit company makes. You will have to work only 4 days. You will have to work only 4 days. And there are other XYZ factors going on, and we are told everything. Then you are happy because, wow, it's a 200,000 salary, 10,000 profit, and there are the flexibilities, there are the non-monetary benefits, and you will be very happy about it. But there is no specific contract coming in. There is no traction of documents. This is one example for documentation. where your employer has agreed and signed upon it, where you as an employee has agreed and signed upon it. So there is no documentation, there is no professionalism, you enter for it. When you enter, guys, then what happens is, you start working. After 3 months, your 200,000 salary is not 200,000, they are paying you only 130,000. Yes, 10% profit, they have completely forgotten about it. And in terms of other flexibilities, fine, but not always. So you get back to your boss and you converse about it. You talk about it. He can easily reply and respond saying, dude, when did I give that kind of a promise? Like, guys, politicians of giving false hopes, not everyone, majority again. So that is the kind of reply, guys. And you might be thinking, sir, you are taking out a scenario, not scenario, guys. This has happened for many individuals. This has happened for many people who are working. Because, guys, there is nothing called professionalism coming in. When you're dealing in a corporate world, guys, when you're dealing with other clients, fine, understandable. That person might look good. That person might be sound convincing, might sound appealing, might have the credibility factor, but it's a fundamental norm of maintaining professionalism to ensure that there is a form of documentation in terms of this dealing. If there is a contract, there is clarity, correct? There is a form of clearance for both the parties. If the word is not kept, they can get back, dude, look, this is the documentation. Oh, at least, guys, if not for employment contract, at least the conversation they had. Why not minutes of the meeting where there is a form of document? On this day, we had a meeting and this is the conversation. You told this, I agreed for it. I told this and you agreed for it. So there is some kind of attraction, correct? That is one example of documentation, guys. Just imagine that is missing. They will not be able to come back. They will not be able to revise. They will not be able to check. This is another example. Let's take another example, guys, in relation to my personal life, what I experienced and what I encountered. This is little personal, but I ensure I share this in each and every session because, see, I believe there can be people who will be getting into the same situation as well, you as youngsters. So I faced this when I was young, recent stage of getting into dealing with people. Along with my ACCA degree while following this, I got this lecturing opportunity. Okay, it was a long time back. I will not make it very specific and will not make it sound ugly with the names and all those stuff, just giving the macro view of the story where I realized the importance of documentation. So that was the recent stage, guys. At a young age, I started lecturing. I think I was 19 or 20 at that age. So I was supposed to share one subject with another lecturer. That is the conversation. So in terms of sharing subjects, guys, it's not an easy deal. Let's say you have class slots of 10. You need to discuss, okay, how many slots for the other lecturer, how many slots for me? What are the topics you need to split? What are the days you will be taking? What are the days I'll be taking? How we need to handle the mock exams. Those are the conversations we need to have. So we agreed, guys, in terms of that conversation long time back. This is like, stick onto my brain because this was a solid hit I got at a young age. So the other lecturer who was sharing the subject was more like a senior person with, I just had the professional qualification and degree, whereas the other person had the professional qualification and degree, MBA, and he was working in a corporate as well. So I was a fresher. Whatever said and done, guys, fresher. You know how freshers sound and all those stuff. So what happened was, we had the conversation. Let's go for 50-50 syllabus split. Let's go for a split of classes, 5 to 5 classes. Yes. Let's take mock exams, 2 mock exams. You do 1 mock exam, I'll do 1 mock exam. So it was more like an equal split, guys. Okay. Now session was flowing in. Session was flowing around. Everything was happening. That was a very, very blunt conversation again. No form of document. It was a verbal conversation that happened. Then what happened was, guys, after, let's say, completion of 7 sessions, there was a case where he had completed around 4 classes. I had completed just 3 classes. Okay. So after that incident, he was fighting for classes, extra classes. This is a long time back, guys, in another college, not as even. So this is a long time back. So he was fighting for more classes, but there is no, I want 6 slots. Yeah, if required, out of your slot also, we might have to keep a mock. So actually there, I will get only 3.5 slots. So that is a conversation. So it was a major conflict case where it got into a level where I didn't talk out. I didn't speak out because I was freshener. If it is a start, the kind of forum we need to maintain, right? Where it got into a level where he was talking about, dude, look, you are a freaking bloody fresher, starter. I have this, I have that. I was working in this, I was working in that organization. I said, Adala ne, yeah, not related, because what is the conversation we had? We had a conversation of this kind of a split, this kind of a split in terms of mock workload to whatnot. But what is happening right now? It's not based on how we spoke. The simple reply I got back was, when did we have that kind of a conversation? That was the first thundering slap, guys. When did we have that kind of a conversation? We never had that kind of a conversation. I never told about 5 to 5 split. I never told about 1 to 1 mock. I never told about this and this. So that's a conversation we got into. So there I realized, guys, at that time itself, if we had maintained a form of document, oh, not for document, that's where I went and I addressed it to other people as well, where the management, and there was a CEO of the college, he was telling, dude, look, when you have that conversation, you are a fresher, you need to ensure next time, when you have that conversation, track it to an email. In the email, you keep others on copy as well. Management of the college, you keep others on copy as well. As per the discussion we had on this and this day, these are the agreements between myself and the other lecturer. This is the split. These are the areas he will cover. These are the areas I will cover. On this day, I will take the class. On these days, he will take the class. On this day, we will have the mock. On the other day, we will have the mock. So guys, there is at least the email coming in, right? Later, if the words change, they can get back and they can look into it. That's the power of documentation, guys. So in terms of your life as well, you need to ensure whatever dealings you are getting into the professional world, you need to have clear traction of documentation, guys. If that is missing, that can backfire you, that can attack you. That was one classic example I got, guys. Another hit again, yeah, more like a cow, I got another hit as well. While into development of an application, I had to deal with a developer. Yeah, the developer said the initial quotation, I will give you 70,000 for this part of development. There was an application development, guys. So that application development, there was a section, okay, fine, I need this section to be developed in terms of this application. How much will it cost? 70,000. So in that 70,000 also, we didn't agree for a kind of documentation. There was no kind of signing process coming in. There was no kind of agreement of quotation. These are loopholes of not having documents. Then later, once the development is complete, upon completion of development, he came back with a price. Dude, for this development, the quotation is 240,000. So 70,000 to 240,000. How that jump? Yeah, how that massive amount. Then when we converse back, when we try to talk back, and when we try to argue, dude, look, you agree for 70,000. Then again, simple reply was what, case? No, we didn't have that kind of a conversation. I didn't say 70,000. I said 70,000 only for this section, which is apart. But then there are other sections coming in for this development. So this is another personal experience, guys, I went through. Why again? Because there is no documents. Okay, so in terms of professional life, guys, you need to remember as a person, whatever dealings you are getting into, documentation plays a crucial role. If that documentation is missing, guys, you will not be able to track back. You will not be able to trace back. You will not be able to make it as a reference point. You will not have any kind of evidence left out, guys, in terms of your professional world. So whatever work you do, whatever dealings you get into, whatever interactions you get into, whatever meetings you go for, whatever the work you do each and every day, you need to maintain a form of documentation. That documentation can be a hard copy. That documentation can turn out to be a soft copy. Whatever it is, guys, you need to have the basic discipline, fundamental norm of having that documentation right in the place. So when you get back, you know what you have completed, what are the conversations you have had, what are the kind of discussions, what is the agreement, what is the decision making you have made. Right now, you might be thinking, sir, we can remember, but not possible, guys. You will get into the work world, you will get into the corporate world, you will understand the amount of work you have, you will forget to have your lunch as well. You will forget to have your breakfast as well. That is the amount of workload you will get into when you start working there. So in that kind of a schedule, it's not possible to remember each and everything. So you need to get into that basic discipline of what? Documentation. For example, let's say you are starting on a project which will go for around 3 months. Let's say it's a rural development project, which is into a specific campaign of empowering people, developing a sustainable project. So that particular project is from the start day, as you progress, each and every day, there needs to be a documentation. Okay, on this day, these are the work we have completed. These are the areas we have looked into. These are the kind of meetings we had. And in the meeting, these are the kind of discussions we had. We got through a client, we got through a supplier. With the supplier, these are the conversation we had. He had agreed upon it. We had sent emails. So see, guys, each and every activity, there is a kind of traction coming in. What is the beauty of this is, guys, you can at a later stage come back and revise, come back and look into it, come back and see, okay, whether we have progress, whether we have covered everything, whether we have had this kind of a conversation. That's how work is supposed to happen. That's how work is meant to happen, guys, in the corporate professional world. In terms of audit process also, guys, that is the same norm, that is the same culture, that is the same value and attitude auditors need to maintain. Auditors need to stick to that fundamental principle, fundamental norm of maintaining documentation, guys. Because audit is not a simple process, it's a chaos, comprehensive and complicated process. So to undertake that process, guys, just going out without a route, going out without a form of traction and proof of evidence doesn't make sense. So the standards emphasizes the fact that auditors will have to bring in this audit documentation. Each and every work, there needs to be documentation. For example, guys, there is something called working papers coming in. Working papers file will contain all the details about the work they do on in terms of each and everyday basis. Okay, this day they looked into the inventory, they had conversation with the management, they had conversation with the people who are responsible for internal control system, they had a meeting with internal auditors, they had a meeting with the audit committee, they had a meeting with the management. Even in terms of management, even in terms of the meeting with the audit committee, they had kind of minutes of meeting. So all these are documentation, guys. Every work, there is a proof of evidence, there is a physical existence for each and every work they do. So what they can do, example, let's say it's a project, it's an audit process going on for 3 months. After 2 months, they want to see whether they had carried out this particular work. They will not be able to remember, correct? So what they can do is, guys, they can refer to the documents. In that documents, there will be a section of working papers. That working papers will carry out all the details, will mention what are the work they have done. Let's say in terms of another section is the fact that management is not in agreement, the fact that they have agreed to whatever it is. There is a kind of dispute and conflict happening. They have documentation, minutes of meeting, they can get back to it. They can see whether the management has agreed. They can show it to the management. That will be a thundering slap to them. So do you see the importance and the crucial factor of documentation, guys, in terms of audit? Not only in terms of audit, guys, that's why I was addressing on a general basis. Any related work in the professional life, do remember there needs to be documentation. That's why there will be a secretary in every meeting. Secretary, what he saw her duty in every meeting is, guys, to record the minutes of the meeting. Because there can be 10 freaking meetings. Each meeting, what did they talk? What is the conversation? What is the decision point? Now, what is the scope of work they have agreed? So this is the crucial factor about what, guys, documentation. And in terms of audit being a complicated process, they need to ensure that this documentation comes in and it adds value big time, because they will have a proof, they will have a solid evidence. And this audit documentation, whatever work they have done, can be maintained so that whoever joins into the audit team can have a look into it. The person who is supposed to review the quality of the audit, you will be learning this later. Independent review partner in terms of quality of the audit. In order to look into the quality of the audit, they can look into the documentation. If the audit team says no documentation, then the independent review, quality reviewer, he will not have any kind of documents to look into it. Correct? So this documentation plays a crucial role, and auditors need to ensure they have this habit of maintaining documents and balancing it out throughout the audit process. That's the fact, guys, pertaining to what? Audit documentation. Did you all get an idea there? Did you guys get an idea there? Let's read one by one, point by point. Did you guys get an idea there? Yes? Okay, let's read, guys. Please follow the tutorial. Let's read. Please follow the tutorial. ISA 230 audit documentation requires auditors to ensure preparation and retention of written documentation, provides a sufficient appropriate record of the auditor's basis for audit report. That's, guys, there is some kind of attraction happening. Next one, provides evidence that the audit was planned and performed in accordance with ISAs and applicable legal and regulatory requirements. Now, guys, this is the next point, why audit documentation is very important. Your boss might come and say, dude, look, you have not completed the work. You have not completed the work. You say, no, sir, I have completed the work. What's the proof? What's the evidence? You just need to carry out the verbal conversation versus being smart, being professional. You can easily show what the documents that is available. you have maintained in terms of the working papers. These are the work that have been carried out. These are the meetings that have been carried out. These are the discussions. These are the agreements. These are the disagreements, etc., etc. So this shows that work has been done, work has been complete, and work is fulfilled in the right manner. This is what happens in the corporate world as well, guys. Your boss might question, dude, what the hell? 3 days you have not completed any work. No, I have completed work. Look at the Excel file. Look at the PowerPoint. Look at the presentation. Look at the Word document. Everything is being maintained, and I have been doing this for the past 3 days. So you can't say work is not done. So that is another point, guys. Provide evidence that the audit was planned in terms of this particular work. Next one, assist the engagement team to plan and perform the audit. Assist members of the engaged team responsible for supervision to direct, supervise, and review the audit work. Enables the engagement team to be accountable for its work. What is that, case? Enables the engagement team to be accountable for its work. For example, inventory count. Let's say a team of 10 members. 10 members, Arshad is part of the team. Arshad is responsible for the inventory count, to monitor, to inspect. So they will record that in what? The working papers of the audit. Arshad is supposed to do this task on this day. So later, when they are questioning, dude, did they go and did they monitor the inventory count? The answer is no. Then they can look into the fact who was responsible. Arishad is responsible, but he didn't go. Why he didn't go? So they can see who are those parties responsible for different work, and they can review it accordingly, where there will be a kind of effective conversation and communication happening in that kind of a process. Okay. Next one, retain a record of matters of continuing significance to future audits. This document can be used as what, case? The future reference. The next year's audit team can come in, can look into this documentation to get an understanding how the previous audit year went on, how they carried out the work in terms of professional clearance. Professional clearance, the ex-auditor can easily hand over the documents to whom? To the new auditor. So new auditor can find out all the information relevant to what? The previous audit, the previous audit process. So do you see the kind of value addition it creates? So this documentation is the main strategic weapon or the trump card for whom, guys? The audit team and the auditors. Do remember that. Okay. Let's continue. The documentation should be in a manner that is relatable and understandable to an experienced auditor with no connection to the particular audit in concern. It should highlight the extent and nature of audit procedures undertaken, results of procedures performed, and professional judgments that were reached in the audit case. Audit procedures, what are those different procedures? Those stuffs are focused in section D. You don't have to think about it right now. As I told you, it's connected. Let's get into it step by step. Okay. Documentation is retained in an audit file, which should be completed in a timely fashion after the date of audit report, normally not more than 60 days after, and retained for the period required by the national regulatory requirements. This is normally 5 years from the date of audit report. Not really important, guys, but then I have brought that in. You can just treat it as a reference. Audit documentation is the proof that the auditor has undertaken work according to ethical and legal standards, and this would even be the defense for the auditor during a lawsuit. Highlight that sentence, which basically covers the importance of documentation in one sentence. Highlight that sentence. Okay. Audit documentation includes planning documentation, overall audit strategy, audit plan, and risk analysis, what we have already covered, guys. Even that needs to be tracked. The strategy, what is the strategy they are going to adopt? There is a form of document. So the entire audit team knows about it. The plan, the detailed plan of each and every actions they are going to carry out to fulfill the strategy and achieve the end objective, there is documentation. So everyone knows about the plan. Next one is the risk analysis in relation to the risk related to the audit process. Audit program, summary of significant matters, written representation from management, checklist, correspondence, copies of client records. So these are different aspects which should be part of audit documentation. Write down, guys, write down a sentence, write down a sentence, write down a sentence. Working papers related to the audit working papers related to the audit, working papers related to the audit, working papers related to the audit, needs to be maintained, needs to be maintained, needs to be maintained, needs to be maintained, comma, continue writing, which can be, which can be, which can be a strong form of evidence, which can be a strong form of evidence, which can be a strong form of evidence, strong form of evidence, strong form of evidence. Okay. Okay, take the standards tute, ISA standards tute, okay, and quickly read through ISA 230. Quickly read through ISA 230, the standards tute. Same thing, guys, repeated, but let's complete it, no, in an orderly manner. Read ISA 230, the standards tute. ISA 230, the standards tute, and also ISA 300. ISA 300. ISA 300. 230 and 300. Once you're done reading, guys, do drop a message saying done. Or letter D would do. ISA 230, ISA 300. Do read both the standards. Once you're done, drop a message with the letter D. Yeah. So everyone has completed that. That's it under that section. That's it, guys, under section B. That's it under section B. Okay, ISA 230, 300. Always do remember these standard numbers also. Huh? Can add value to your answer. I'll talk about it in the one-to-one, the feedback session. I'll tell you all the link, reference you need to make based on your writing pattern. Now, guys, let's do one question. That's the culture, right? Let's practice one question, not a massive area. Let's practice just one question only, which we can complete it within 15 minutes. Please take the questions tutorial. 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 Please do question number 12. Question number 12. Only question number 12 would do, guys. Please do question number 12. Question number 12. It's a 5-mark question. So I'll give you all 9 minutes. Take 10 minutes, guys. Question number 12. Question number 12. Question number 12. It's 10:05. Finish it by 10:15. 10:15. Meanwhile, if one person, please be kind enough to take a photo of the mind map I have given for planning and risk assessment section, and can you send it to me? Can you take a photo of the mind map I have given, and can you send it to me, please? Planning and risk assessment, that entire section, the mind map I have given, and also please tell me what are the sections we have completed in the mind map. What are the sections you have completed in the mind map? Thank you, Lakna. It's written, right? So you don't have to tell. Thank you, Lakna. Thank you very much. Yeah, others. Go on with the question. 10 minutes, finish it off. Easy question. Huh? You can get these questions as well for 2 marks and 3 marks. What is meant by professional skepticism and why it is important? Why it is so important that the auditor maintains professional skepticism throughout the audit. So even the 2 marks, guys, split into 2 different areas. 1 mark for telling what professional skepticism is, 1 mark for telling the importance of it. You can score the marks easily. So you need to bring in 2 solid points, 2 solid statements. Next one is explain the importance of audit plan. Importance of audit plan, 3 marks. How many points? 3 points. Because each point you get 1 mark. Do remember that. That's how the marking pattern goes in. Not A-levels, guys. A-levels we do remember 4 marks means you just need to write 2 points. Each point 2 marks, 2 marks. You get 4 marks. But in terms of ACCA, guys, if it is 4 marks, each point you get 1 mark. Okay. So here 3 marks, you need to write 3 points. If you're done with the question, drop a message. Done. Yes, you all can see the board, right? Whatever I have written, is it clear? The board? No. Says ocean. Okay. Whatever I have written in the board. On the board of ISA 230, ISA 300, not clear, right? Question number 12 by 10:15. Okay. Yeah, now fine, now fine. It's sorry, mute panel. Two minutes more. 2 minutes more. 2 minutes more. All right, guys, time up. Let's discuss on the question, okay? See, if you look into the answers, guys, answers, examiners mentioned all the possible answers that can come out. You don't have to go to that level of quantity because definitely you will not have time, okay? So 2 marks, 2 points. What is meant by professional skepticism and why it is important that the auditor maintains professional skepticism throughout the audit. So guys, these are short answer questions. Short answer questions, are you going to put bullet points? No way in hell. Don't bring out bullet points for God's sake. Again, this is not A-levels, this is ACCA qualification. Try paragraph form. Go in the paragraph format, guys. Don't bring in that bullet point and pitch out a point. Go based on paragraphs. Okay, so here what they are asking is what is meant by professional skepticism. That's your first paragraph, correct? So first paragraph should address the first requirement of what professional skepticism is. Professional skepticism is general idea is about having a doubtful mind, suspicious mind, thinking, let's say in terms of behavior, that is mandatory to conduct the audit process. So what you can write there is professional skepticism is an attitude or characteristic that needs to be maintained by every auditor who looks into audit process of being doubtful and suspicious over each and every work related matters and procedures they undertake. So that specific theme of being doubtful, suspicious should come in. And any other answers, guys, with your own writing pattern is totally fine as long as it covers the right picture, right idea. That is one. Importance of professional skepticism, guys, is many, right? One, importance to ensure they fulfill the objective of expressing the right opinion. So to reduce the risk related to the audit of expressing an incorrect opinion, they need to be skeptical. Yes, to ensure they get the right set of evidence to express the opinion, they need to be skeptical.